This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday said his forces were making rapid and powerful gains in southern Ukraine and that they had retaken dozens of villages from Russia this week. Quote, the Ukrainian army is quite rapidly and powerfully advancing in the south, Zelensky said in his daily address on social media, adding that, quote, dozens of settlements had been recaptured in the south and east. Some of the territory was taken back in the regions of Kherson, Luhansk, and Donetsk, he said, where referendums were held last week on being annexed by Russia. U.S. government officials are keeping the door open to dialogue with North Korea despite the latest provocation, flying a ballistic missile over Japan. The first time they've done that in 5 years. The details from VOA's chief national correspondent Steve Herman in Washington.
While condemning as reckless North Korea's longest ever test launch of a ballistic missile, officials in Washington reaffirmed Tuesday they still want to talk with their counterparts in Pyongyang. Vedant Patel is the deputy spokesperson at the State Department.
That continues to be our posture. We're prepared to meet with the DPRK without preconditions. We consider that to be an important step towards meeting our ultimate goal, which is the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. And we continue to feel that diplomacy and dialogue are a key aspect of achieving that goal.
The Tuesday morning missile from North Korea flew 4,500 kilometers, far enough to hit the U.S. island of Guam, had it taken a different trajectory. Steve Herman, VOA News, Washington.
This is VOA News. Indonesian police commenting on the recent soccer death tragedy say the stadium exit gates were too small for any effective escape. AP correspondent Charles De Ledesma reports.
Authorities say the gates at the soccer stadium, where police fired tear gas and set off a deadly crush, were too small and could only accommodate two at a time when hundreds were trying to escape. Photos from the Malang Stadium, where 125 people died and hundreds more injured on Saturday night in one of sporting events' worst disasters, have showed four connecting doors forming one exit. Police say their probe is focused on 6 of the gates. They were unlocked but only able to accommodate 2 people at most. Officials say the gates are the responsibility of the organizers. I'm Charles De Ledesma.
Lawyers for former U.S. President Donald Trump have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to step into the legal fight over classified documents seized during an FBI search of his Florida estate. The Trump team asked the court Tuesday to overturn a lower court ruling and permit an independent arbiter or special master to review the roughly 100 documents with classified markings that were taken in the August 8th search. A 3-judge panel last month limited the review to the much larger tranche of non-classified documents. The saga of Elon Musk's on-again, off-again purchase of Twitter took a turn toward conclusion Tuesday after the Tesla CEO proposed to buy the company at the originally agreed-on price of $44 billion. It came less than 2 weeks before a trial between the two parties is scheduled to start. In response, Twitter says it intends to close the transaction, but the company stopped short of saying it's dropping its lawsuit against the billionaire Tesla CEO. Experts said that makes sense given the contentious relationship and lack of trust between the two parties. Recapping our top story, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday said his forces were making rapid and powerful gains in southern Ukraine and that they had retaken dozens of villages from Russia this week. Quote, the Ukrainian army is quite rapidly and powerfully advancing in the south, Zelensky said in his daily address on social media, adding that, quote, dozens of settlements had been recaptured in the south and east. Some of the territory was taken back in the regions of Kherson, Luhansk, and Donetsk, where referendums were held last week on being annexed by Russia. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey.